Hey, Wannabe Gamer here with another Top War video. Today we're going to be talking about those legendary Valhalla units. We'll talk about what they are, how to get them, as well as going over each of the 9 type of Valhalla units to check out their special abilities. And I strongly recommend staying for the whole video because not only are some of these incredibly strong, but the last one is just straight up overpowered and almost makes Air Force worthwhile. Now, checking out the Super Weapons Lab, this is a building that you get access to once you hit level 80, and this is where Valhalla units are trained. Now, before you train them, of course, you do need to research them. If you go into your command center, you're able to research them there, and you can see that I've got these funny looking units up at the top. Once you have your unit merge for each type up to level 80, you're able to unlock the corresponding Valhalla units. So for example, if I want to unlock Army Valhalla units, my Army does have to have its unit merge up to level 80. Now each type, Army, Navy, and Air Force, have 3 Valhalla variations that you're able to research, but they are researched individually. So you will have to research a total of 9 Valhalla units, each one costing a little over 5 FF gold, 11,000 of its corresponding unit merged plans, and then the thing that's really going to hold you back is the Odinium. It's 100,000 each, so you're going to need 900,000 total. This is very slow to get, so it's going to take you a long time to unlock all of these. Odinium is a very precious resource. But once you've managed to unlock a Valhalla unit, you can go over to your Hall of Valhalla Training or the Super Weapons Lab, because for some reason it has 2 names, and you're able to train Valhalla units. Now, these are very expensive to make. You do actually have to sacrifice a unit to make them, but the unit that you sacrifice is the Valhalla level that you'll get. So it does have to be at least 80, but if I sacrifice an 80, I get a level 80 Valhalla. If I sacrifice an 82, I get an 82 Valhalla. Now, the level 80 will cost you 800 Odinium and 500,000 resource. Now I say resource because it can either be food or oil. It depends on the Valhalla unit that you're building. But what's weird is it actually gets cheaper as you go higher level. Level 81 would be 760 Odinium with 460,000 resource. And level 82, cheaper still at 560 Odinium with 350,000 resource. Now, these do take 8 hours to train, and you can only have 1 training at any given time. You can do them in batches of 5, but it only trains a single unit each time. So if you do a batch of 5, it'll take you 40 hours to train them all, 8 hours each, and if you want to rush 1 unit, it costs 240 gems. So these are very expensive and time-consuming to make. Now, while you can only run 1 Valhalla unit at a time, you can run 1 of each type at a time. So that means you can have 1 Army, 1 Navy, and 1 Air Force running at a time. So you can technically train 3 at a time, but the time-consuming process and the expense of these things is why people are so protective of their Valhalla units. Now, if you get a Valhalla unit and it's damaged in battle, of course, it will be sent to your repair factory, and you get 2 options. You can either repair it and get your Valhalla unit back, which will cost Odinium and resource, or you can repair it for free, which will strip it of its Valhalla status and just give you the regular unit back. So if you repair a level 82 Valhalla unit for free, it's just going to give you a regular 82 unit back. Now, if your repair facility is full, it'll automatically make that choice for you and automatically strip it of its Valhalla status, giving you just regular units again, and you'll have to go through the training process all over again. Now, let's go ahead and talk about all the types of Valhalla units, and we're going to start with the Army. Now, this unit here is probably the best unit in the game for defending your base, just because you can have so many in your base, which is the big advantage of Army. It's also very good at defending objectives. Now, as you can see, there's 3 squares on the right side here. These show what its abilities are. Its first ability is it's able to attack in a row. So this unit attacks exactly as a Navy does, so it really increases its damage. The second ability is when it's on defense, it increases its damage by 30%, which is what makes it such a good defending unit. And then lastly, damage taken by naval units is reduced by 25%. This is another thing that's great for defense, because of course, if someone sees you defending with Army, they're sending Navy. So having this little boost here is great. The second one is probably the most common Army one I see, and definitely most common for PvP or offensive. It gets a 60% increased attack boost just naturally. Its second boost is when it's attacking a building, and just for the sake of the video, buildings are silos, capitals, ruins, and bases. I'll just refer to all 4 of those together as buildings. When it's attacking a building, it gets a 30% damage increase. And then lastly, it increases its crit rate by 150%. So if your opponent doesn't have anything in their invulnerability stat, if they don't have at least over 50, you're guaranteed to get a critical strike when this thing attacks, which is one of the reasons it's the most common PvP unit for the Army. Now the last one, it's meant for gathering, but I strongly recommend this is the very last Valhalla unit that you research. Its abilities are mediocre. The first one is it attacks 2 random targets. Now, that's nice because you're attacking one more target than Army normally does, but it is random. The second one, it increases your gather load by 300%, but it also reduces your marching speed by 50%. No, it's not reducing the time by 50%, it's reducing your march speed stat by 50%, so you are slower with this thing. And then the last one is it reduces damage taken while gathering by 30%. So this thing is definitely not something you're going to want to work on unless for some reason you're just not able to gather because everybody wants to hit tiles. It's the last Valhalla you should be researching. Moving on to the Navy, the first unit here is great for base hits and PvP. Similar to one of the Army units, it just gets a 60% attack increase boost, just naturally. But the big one is it increases its attack against Army units by 200%. So that's great when you're attacking a base because everybody's got way too many tanks in their base. This is going to be the thing to take it out. And it increases its dodge rate by 100%, which means if your opponent doesn't have anything in their hit stat, they can't hit this unit. Unless I'm getting it wrong, it could be increasing your existing stat, so it could just be doubling the stat you have. But the way the game puts it is it increases your dodge rate by 100%, which means unless they have hit, you're guaranteed to dodge. Now, there are items and hero bonds in the game that just naturally give you hits, so they likely have something in there. But this is a very hard unit to hit, so it's very popular for PvP and base hits. The next one is particularly good at defending objectives and then also defending the base. This is similar to the defense Army one. I put the defense Army one as more important for your base because you can hold more of them. This one's more important for objectives because you just can't have as many Navy in your base as you can Army, but its abilities are still awesome. When you're defending, you automatically get a 20% shield of whatever your HP is at the beginning of the battle. The second one is it increases your HP by 60%, so these things are just massive tanks, and their crit rate is increased by 150%. So like I said earlier, if they don't have invulnerability, this thing's guaranteed to crit. So this is a particularly good unit for defending buildings. Now, the last Navy unit, this is the one that I've personally unlocked, but this is particularly good for PvE, so like the World Boss or the Sand Table event, and it's okay for PvP. The first ability is it attacks 3 random targets, and the reason I said it was good for PvE is actually because of this. So for example, the World Boss is only 1 target, but this attacks 3 times randomly. It doesn't attack at the same time, so 2 attacks go to waste. It means it hits the World Boss 3 times, so that's why it's particularly good for PvE. The next one is it actually reduces your march speed stat by 30%, so it does slow you down, but you do get a 30% increased damage, so that's not too bad of a trade-off. And then the last one is when you're attacking 3 different targets, your final damage, so you get a 38% increased damage. Now, this is the one thing that doesn't help on the World Boss, because here it requires you to hit 3 different targets, but it's still pretty good for PvP because that just boosts up its damage. Let's move on to the Air Force, our last category. This first one here is particularly good for PvP, and it's pretty good for PvE. So the first one is it attacks 4 targets randomly, so similar to the last one I just discussed, it would attack the World Boss 4 times, or just a bunch of enemy units. The next one would be a 200% increased attack when attacking Navy, so that's one of the reasons it's good for PvP, especially for objective hits if they're defending with Navy, or even in their base if for some reason they're defending with Navy. And then the last one would be a 150% crit rate increase. So there's that guaranteed crit if they don't have invulnerability. Now, the next one, this one is particularly good for attacking objectives as well as base hits. Its first ability is when it's attacking a building, it increases its damage by 30%, so big boost there. It also has that 60% increased attack that we've seen a couple times before. And then its last one is a dodge increase of 100%. So this thing hits hard and it's very hard to hit back. And then the last one, and you need, if you're Air Force, if you're one of those weirdos that's specialized in Air Force, you need to get this one, and you need to pair him with Rockefeller, and here's why. This is purely PvP, and it just smacks. Its first ability is it attacks all targets. Yes, all 9 targets. It is absurd. Now, there is a slight trade-off for that in their second ability. While they do get a 20% increased damage when attacking, they do get a reduced 10% on their hit. So if they're going up against one of those units with dodge increase of 100%, it's kind of a big deal for him. But if they don't have big dodge, I'll take that trade-off any day of the week if I'm attacking all 9 stacks. And then the very last one is the final damage dealt is increased by 25%. So this is a very hard unit. Pair it with Rockefeller, who basically has whose ability does the same thing, and you're just going to delete everybody in a couple of attacks. So that's everything I got on the Valhalla units. Let me know what your favorite was in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Let your alliance know. Reach level 80 as soon as you can and get that Odinium. Come on. Meet me up here with these Valhalla units. Don't forget, as always, I want you to have a fantastic day.